What's up guys, Phil Smith here and welcome back to another episode of The Focus. I'm joined by Will again.
Hi guys.
Hi, and we're going to go down a bit of a different path today. We've been talking about the Premier League over the last few episodes.
As I said last week, we're going to go down for the following Premier League clubs, the ones that have been there, got the t-shirt, but have either struggled to get back up or have just struggled in general and fallen. So I think, without further ado, kind of the ones that have fallen they've fallen furthest is probably Portsmouth.
Yeah, Portsmouth and Blackpool.
Yeah, oh god, I do keep getting Blackpool there for a second.
Portsmouth is a team that we're going to be talking about. Obviously, there's loads of teams.
I think we were discussing like 50. So
yes,
we've only picked around about 50 that have.
So we're not going to talk about every single one of them. But if you want us to talk about your team, just write in the comments below. Also smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. So the teams we're going to kind of discuss today, the three relegated teams from last season, very quickly. We're going to talk about Aston Villa, Newcastle, Norwich. We had Portsmouth, Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday, Wigan. We're going to talk about Derby, and we might squeeze in a couple of other teams like Blackburn and Bolton. We'll see how we do for time.
But yeah, so no worries. But without further ado, the three relegated clubs, going in with alphabetical order. You look at Villa. I think
disaster for them last season.
It was a complete disaster for them, but I think they will come back up. I think playoffs will be them, to be honest.
Yeah, I reckon they could get to the playoffs, but I think they could do what Fulham have done, and they might struggle a little bit to get back.
Yeah,
there's
true.
a massive overhaul of players that needs to happen there. Like the amount of players that need to leave that club is ridiculous. So there's going to be a big overturn of players.
Well, we'll see how it goes. How a new manager structure and everything when they go into that one.
The fans should be optimistic now though, because they've got rid of Randy Lerner, they've got rid of Remy Gard, they brought in Di Matteo, which is a good appointment, and they've got the new owner now.
Who's the new owner, do you know?
I don't know the name, but he's already pumped a fair bit of money into the club, bringing in Tommy Elphick from Bournemouth. So
fair enough.
They've made one signing, I think, so far, and that's it. But there'll be many more to come.
Oh, fair enough.
But my only worry for them is they will.
I thought it was Matt Ritchie.
No, that's Newcastle. My worry for them is that there's a big overturn of players, and that can sometimes.
It can just disrupt the team morale and everything. So yeah, but no, I think if they go, if they do, I think they'll go playoffs. Maybe if they don't win it, then they'll at least get to the final, and I think they'll be up the season after.
They're a huge club.
I think they need to, like you said, they are restructuring, so they will do well. I think they were a half decent Premier League side.
Yeah,
it's taken them forever to get relegated, even though they've been on the teetering edge for a while. So we'll see how it goes.
They're a huge club that should be in the Premier League, but it's been mismanaged at the top.
We'll see how they go. We'll keep an eye on them throughout the season.
Another team to get relegated, and they've been relegated twice now in the last few seasons. Newcastle. They went down with Alan Shearer.
Well, no, once in the last few seasons. They haven't been twice. Once they came straight back up. Norwich have been relegated twice in the past few seasons. Newcastle only go down once. They've been close to it.
They came down with Alan Shearer a few years ago.
Yeah, once. And
then they came down last season. That's twice.
Fine then. Okay, we'll count this one as well then, twice.
Anyway. So for Newcastle, what do you make of them and how they're going to do this season?
They're going to come up as champions. They're going to bounce straight back up. They've got Rafa for the next 3 years.
Unbelievable appointment.
It's a fantastic
signing. That's the signing of the summer.
Unless you look at what possibly might be coming to Man United, but there you go.
Yeah, if you haven't heard, I know we're kind of going off topic. News this morning looks like £103 million deal for Pogba to Manchester United, but we'll probably touch on that in next week maybe.
Yeah, due course of things, we'll keep an eye on everything when big deals have been done and everything.
So with Newcastle, Benitez, I can't believe he's staying. I just think that's amazing.
I think he's because he's missed the Premier League. You can tell he's missed the Premier League and being back there.
He loves the fans. The fans have treated him really well since when even when they got relegated, they loved Rafa. If they had Rafa for longer, they would have stayed up easily.
I could see that. Yeah.
Looking at the signings already, they made 3 signings already. Matt Sells, a goalkeeper, and they've always had injury worries with goalkeepers.
Yeah, Krul was injured a lot last season, which really
he was out all season, I think.
I think he managed to play a couple of games, but I know it's a good majority of the season.
Yeah, so they brought in Matt Sells, Dwight Gale for £10 million from Crystal Palace. What a signing that
Wasn't he a part of their team anyway before? Didn't he go from Newcastle to Palace?
No, it was from Peterborough to Palace.
Was it?
Dwight Gale, yeah.
don't know why I kept thinking Gale.
Or was it? Yes, it was Dagenham to Peterborough to Palace to now Newcastle.
No, I thought it was a Newcastle player.
Yeah, £10 million for Dwight Gale. Matt Ritchie is the one that I'm like wow about. Ritchie is a Premier League player. He's a
and he's
really good player.
He's gone down a club. He's gone down in leagues, but I think with Matt Ritchie, okay, he's Scottish international for me. I think, in all fairness, I think maybe with the striker injury, the striker query we've got at Hull City, I think we should have gone for him because he'd have been a nice backup for, or if not, the replacement for Hernandez, who's looking like to go for us, unfortunately.
Yeah, same kind of with Villa. There's going to be a lot of players leaving still, so it might take a little bit. Are they keeping Sissoko? I've heard he might be going to Liverpool.
No, they re-signed him.
Have they?
Yeah.
That's brilliant for them.
It was one of the first re-signings of the summer.
Wow. No, I didn't know that. That's another big bit of business by Newcastle.
Well, that was what I read in one of the papers. Whether it is actually a done deal, I'm not 100% sure. So I'm sticking with it. If
that is the case, he will batter the Championship with Sissoko.
Oh, good. Yeah.
He's in the France squad at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, and look where they are.
Yeah. Going on to the final relegated team from last season, Norwich. I don't know what to think of them. They're a yo-yo club, really.
Because look at the yo-yo player they've got rid of to you guys, Nathan Redmond.
The more I think about it, I think he's a good signing for us. But
he is good, but look at his track record. Every team he's
relegated twice in 3 seasons with Norwich.
Exactly.
It's not something that excites me, but it's a player. At least we're signing someone. With Norwich, I haven't seen them do too much businesses in coming in wise.
I can't see them coming up. I think they'll be at least give them a season or two in the Championship.
I think there's just far more quality now in the Championship with obviously Newcastle, Aston Villa, you got Derby with a very good manager Pearson.
Well, yeah, it's like you look at
Sheffield Wednesday.
Well, yeah, look at Sheffield Wednesday when we played them. Sheffield Wednesday were a Premier League club, 92 to 2000, and that just shows how good a club they were back then. Then they went to Championship for 4 seasons, and then they went to the League One for 2, and then back up to the.
I remember when when Southampton played Sheffield Wednesday in League One. Like, how was that a League One game? I just don't know.
Well, that's the thing is that you look at obviously Championship 2006, 2010, League One again, 2010, 2012, and then back in the Championship 2012, 2016, and very close to being back in the Premier League. Just a good little hit from Mo Diame. Now, if they can bounce off what they did last season, I could predict that it'll be Newcastle and Sheffield Wednesday will be the automatic 2 promotions next season. Because I think Brighton, yes, okay, they'll probably get a couple of signings, but won't do much. They're not. I know that everybody said Bournemouth were never a Premier League club, but they proved the bookies wrong on that one. Brighton still aren't. Brighton are too big for the boots and are overconfident, I think. That was the downfall against City last year as well. Like they
went on a huge unbeaten run at the start of the season.
Yeah, they did. But we beat them in both the cups and the league. Okay, I think it was when we lost them away, but we beat them at home and then the cup twice. Just tells you something.
So with Norwich, you're saying that
Norwich, they'll either.
I reckon they'll get playoffs, but I don't think they'll go up.
Well, yeah, Norwich and Villa, they'll be playoffs, but I think as a actual fallen Premier League club themselves, Sheffield Wednesday, they'll be back in the Premier League next season, I'd say.
I think one of our future episodes is going to be on this predictor site that I mentioned. I think was it last week?
Yeah, I think I mentioned last week, or actually mentioned it a few times on the podcast. But yeah, we'll look at the Championship predictor as well and see who's going to come up for us as well and go down, etc.
Definitely.
So that'll be quite a nice one.
Okay, shall we move on to the Steel City? Sheffield.
Yeah, that's why I was going on to Sheffield with obviously Sheffield Wednesday. You've also got Sheffield United. Yeah,
and I've been expecting them for seasons now to come straight back up. I remember they're
in League One.
They've been cup specialists over the last few years, especially when Clough was in charge.
Yeah.
Why they can't translate that into league form, I don't know.
Okay, this is the thing. I say they're a fallen Premier League club, but they were only there for a season.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for Carlos Tevez Gates, yes, with West Ham, that situation, that could have gone a lot differently.
But then they had 3 seasons in the Championship, and then they've been in League One ever since. They've been on the brink each time, but they just keep losing it toward the end every time. Yeah. What I like to call the derby of the League One. Derby are always just there.
I'm more surprised that last season they didn't come up with Nigel Adkins in charge.
Very surprised, yeah, because they should have done a lot better with that, I think. But like you said, yeah, they are kind of cup specialists. It's like, fair enough, okay, FA Cup wise, they've won it 4 times, but that's like not since 1925. It's not the best. And then they've been runners up for it. Last time that was 1936.
Yeah, when it comes to cup specialist, it wasn't the greatest night for me. I remember going to Bramall Lane, I think a couple of seasons ago, lost 1-0 in the Capital One Cup quarter final. It was at Bramall Lane 1-0, and it wasn't a very good night. But they can easily beat Premier League teams. Like they gave Tottenham a game in the semi-final of the Capital One Cup a couple of years ago.
Well, look at the FA Cup semi-final. Hull City 3 seasons ago. I'm sorry, but that's like that is like the underdog story. League One against Premier League. They were beating us 2-1 at half time. We came back and beat them 5-3. It was a hell of a game.
I'm really hoping that they come up. They're a club that I don't know why I have a bit of a soft spot for them.
Thing is, I have a soft spot for the Sheffield teams because it's their derby. I adore derby games. I would prefer clubs that have the same teams from the same city in the same league all the time. They have to be there because that brings in so much more revenue. It's unreal. Like the Manchester derby, the Merseyside derby. It's going to be the Tyne Weir derby, is it, with Middlesbrough Sunderland, if I'm right?
Yes. Wait.
Or is it the Wearside one? It's one of their derbies. I can't remember which way around it goes. So
I know Newcastle is Tyne, so
Tyne Weir, but that's will be the Wearside derby then.
Yeah, Wearside.
So that's that one. You've got was it Hull City don't have a derby?
Their local one is Leeds.
Yeah, it's Leeds, and we had that one. Okay, we lost to them away and drew with them at home. I was a bit annoyed at that one, but still, it's just one of the things. Hull never have one, but then you've got like the what's it, Midlands derby with like Leicester, West Brom,
Forest derby.
Exactly, you've got them in all the leagues, so a few of them are fluttered around all over the leagues, but you don't have like the Sheffields haven't had their derby for years properly, and I think they need to go for it.
They need to, yeah. 2 massive clubs,
because that'll ignite the rivalries and everybody else. One big derby just needs to ignite them all. Like Hull Leeds isn't like a much more of a derby. It's more of the whole thing of the chance of we all hit Leeds, which translates from.
I think everyone thinks that, to be honest.
Well, yeah, because it translates into the rugby league as well. Because like Hull FC, Hull KR, fair enough, they don't like each other, but they will all chant we all hit Leeds when we play Leeds. So it's everyone does that. It's just a chant that's gone on for it. So I think we do miss both the Sheffields. Yeah, both of them need to be back in the Premier League. I think
Championship at the very least.
Yeah, definitely.
But obviously, Sheffield Wednesday are already there, so.
Well, yeah, true. So we need them. We need that. Then we're going back up.
Okay.
Where would you like to go after this then?
Should we focus a little bit more on League One? There's 3 other massive teams who have been in the Premier League. That's Bolton, Charlton, and Coventry. I want to talk about Bolton.
They've just gone down, haven't they, this season?
Yeah. Financial issues.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like when they got rid of Neil Lennon, I was like, why?
Yeah.
Why get rid of him? It's like he would have brought you back up.
I think he would have left anyway.
Possibly.
But the appointment that they've made to kind of replace him, Phil Parkinson from Bradford, what an appointment that is.
Yeah, I'm surprised he went though. Because
Bradford are on the up.
Yeah, so I'm surprised they've gone from that. It's it'll be interesting to see how he plays out on that one, to be honest.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of players stay. Will they keep Zach Clough? Because Zach Clough is one for the future, definitely. He'll be a future Premier League player. He was one of Bolton's shining stars in quite a poor season from really last season.
Yeah, no, I can. Sorry, I can agree with that. Yeah, I can agree with that one. I think it's more. Bolton need to. Every team that goes down that have been Premier Leagues, they've either gone out and either not bought and not consolidated, or try to consolidate but not bought. Or buy new and try and consolidate the old team and not work because the wage budget goes. There's 3 ways they can go about it. All they need to do, I think every team from the lower leagues need to look at it as well, is how you do it. Like on how sometimes players you can do it on. I know it's FIFA. I know it's a computer game, but most of the time, if you ask a big club for one of their rising stars on loan, guarantee them, like say you get a striker or a defender, especially mainly the rising star defenders, you get one of them coming in, say right, we guarantee them at least half the season first team regular football. Big clubs will go, yeah, take him, because we're not getting to play them on a regular basis apart from the development team. So we want the first team big action. So off you go, and you'll get loads of players. Fair enough. Okay, that's loan players, and that then develops into a thing of you have the rapport with the player. Sorry, my throat's going. You have the rapport with the player, and that could end up being the player wants to stay at the club for longer, and then you've got a financially sound player as well.
Like
will score or defend for you.
The new, I can't think of the name of this guy, but the new Port Vale manager is a former Chelsea player, and he's got connections with Chelsea, so he's already said to like the media he's going to be bringing in young Chelsea players on loan.
There you go. It's
probably not the standard that go to like Vitesse and everywhere like that. I think it'll be more younger players.
Oh yeah, no. But that's the thing. That's what managers need to start looking at. It's like Di Matteo. He's ex Chelsea, isn't he? Many years ago.
You can see him
and Tottenham.
Yeah.
So he's got connections in other clubs, so he could go down the youth ranks of them to pull them up.
Definitely. So that's alternate. And I said this with Sheffield United as well, but I expect them to come back up, even if they have financial issues. They're too big of a club.
They have been for years, and they should already be back up. I don't know why they're just not.
It's the financial issues which have caused them to go this far down. I wouldn't like to be a Charlton fan right now. They hate their owner.
Yeah, he's just not right, is he?
Yeah, it's a man and a woman, I think, who run it. Yeah, there's a woman in charge, and they hate her as well.
Yeah, well,
I don't really understand what's going on in that club.
What's her name? Delia Smith. She's a part of Norwich. So obviously it can work. They can be in the Premier League, but Charlton haven't been in the Premier League for years.
Yeah. It always gets brought up on Sky Sports Soccer Saturday. This, don't be so hasty to sack managers, because Charlton did this. They were bored of finishing in mid-table. They wanted to go up, so they sacked Kerbishley, and since then, they haven't been in the Premier League since.
It's going down. This is the thing with all managers, and it's okay. Go back to like one of the old Premier League clubs, one of the now Premier League clubs, when they got rid of Dave Moyes, Man United. They didn't even give him a year. They took him out of the last 4 games. If he'd gone in and won them last 4, that'd have kept him in his job for the next at least 6 months. And given him everything, and I guarantee they would have won the season after that if they'd have kept him, because he'd gone, right, okay, the team Ferguson gave me is not a good enough team. I need to change it my way, and he would have done it, because that's what Mighty does. And then he'd go, and I know it's a good manager that's lost, a good Scottish manager that's lost.
British.
Scottish. We don't have much to shout about, so I'll shout about them as best again.
Yeah, so with Charlton, I don't think they're going to have a good season. I think they could do what Blackpool.
They will. They'll drop all the way down.
Yeah,
I think. And
because Blackpool have done exactly the same.
They'll have to rebuild. They'll have to do what Portsmouth did.
It's heading that way.
Portsmouth are rebuilding well. They're just not. They're knocking at the door, and they will get there.
Yeah, we'll touch on to Portsmouth in about 5 minutes or so, I reckon.
Yeah.
But yeah, Charlton. The problem with them, because their owners also own other clubs. I think they own. It's definitely connections in Belgium. They keep signing Belgian players who have no knowledge about the Football League. They don't know how tough it is.
They don't do brilliantly. They do okay, but nothing great. You look at going from Charlton, Falmouth, go to bloody Wigan as well. They went all the way down to League One. Into League One, I remember that beginning of last season when they did the 72 Live or 92 Live, when they went around all the Football League clubs, and they went to there and said, right, you're the new manager.
Gary Caldwell.
No, the owner, the new owner.
Oh, yeah, he's really young, isn't he? Yeah. David Sharp, I think.
Yeah, it's the young one, because it was his dad that owned it, and he's now got it, and he took over it. Straight up back promotion, and back in the Championship.
Very impressive last season.
It was fantastic. Now that shows you how to do it. Yes, they've got a big backing anyway, don't get me wrong, they are a big enough club. Because you look at oh my god, I've got his name.
What club are we on?
No, Roberto Martinez. When he was at Wigan, he was the first one to be relegated, but win the FA Cup at the same time.
Yeah.
And then he left there and went to Everton, which he did okay with in 3 seasons, where Wigan dropped in 3 seasons.
I think the reason why Wigan came back up, you're going to hate me for this, I think you know where this is going, it's because Will Grigg was on fire.
Yes, Will Gregg was on fire. That song has been going around every.
I find it funny how he was on fire, but he didn't kick a ball at the Euros. He didn't even come on as a sub, so fire extinguished, I think.
Yeah, it was just odd.
Yeah,
to be honest,
I would have given him a run out. To be honest,
he wouldn't, especially in the last game.
We focus on 3 of the League One clubs. We're going to focus on the other one because it would be unfair not to. Coventry.
I just don't like Coventry. No offence to Coventry fans. The reason why I don't like Coventry is from a different sport. Because I'm a whole Stingray / Pirates fan.
That's ice hockey, by the way.
Yeah, that's the ice hockey lot. Because of what the Coventry Blaze owners did with the Stingrays at the time, I don't really like any Coventry City or Blaze or whatever. No offence to the actual city itself, I'm sure it's quite lovely. It's just your teams, football and ice hockey wise, don't interest me.
Speaking as a neutral fan myself, I feel sorry for what they've had to go through because they had to play the football at Northampton. Obviously.
No, that I do agree with. Yeah, playing your home football at a different club is atrocious. No matter what club you are, I think personally, as any fan, is atrocious.
And they're a massive club because their first game back at Rica, it was a Friday night game at home to Gillingham. I remember packed house in League One, 33,000.
It was because they're crazy. They're back home,
and now back down to like 10,000.
Well, they will be because it was like everybody's back home now. And then, now we need to consolidate, show that they're good enough to get that again. I
thought they were bankers to come up last season, especially when they were like top of the league, and then they just fell off in the second half of the season. Like Adam Armstrong stopped scoring goals.
Oh, that's is that Derby calling again? Are they dropping off at the back end of the season, weren't they? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no, it was from like Christmas onwards. They just slumped, did Kochi, and ended up finishing like mid-table. And
it was the opposite for Middlesbrough. We beat them 3-0, and then they got a massive winning streak, and that's kept them in the league.
Shall we focus on League 2?
There's a League 2?
Yeah, there's a League 2. There's Blackpool and Portsmouth are the 2 standout names. We'll start off with Blackpool. We mentioned kind of with Charlton a few minutes ago. Yeah, Blackpool's exactly the same with Carl Ostrom.
Well, yeah, it's what was it? Well, the only time Blackpool were good was under Ian Holloway.
He was brilliant.
He was just great banter on the microphone with any pundit or that. He was great.
He's really good for the Football League on Sky Sports. He's a really good pundit.
He is. He's very. And when he did the Ian Holloway, when he went around a few clubs, like 10 games in 10 days.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I love that. Because I don't know about you, but I love watching the Football League. I think the Football Leagues are amongst the best.
Some of them are. I've watched the odd couple of games and they are boring as hell. Pardon the French, but still, it's very poor. Some of the games, very poor. And I know, okay, they're Football League and they will be poor, but sometimes, like you said, you can watch them and they can be absolutely phenomenal.
The Championship especially is probably one of my favourite leagues in the world, honestly, for excitement.
Yeah, the Championship is more. It's the one that's on. It's the one you can't predict. Obviously you can predict it.
But we can fail.
But it'll possibly fail. It's like everybody said that Hull and Birmingham, that game that should have been a draw, but both teams were just knocking each other out. It's just like nope, and then just one lucky shot, deflection and in.
Yes.
So that just shows how close that game was.
So with Blackpool, I feel sorry for them. They've gone from Premier League to League 2 in 4-5 seasons?
Was it like back-to-back promotions they got? Or was it League 1 or was it just League 1 into Championship?
League 1 into Championship, and then this I can't remember actually.
Fair enough. No, because I know they did. They kept it as a similar story to Hull City because they came up in the first time in the history, and they ended up going. Near enough, they've gone all the way back down now. So it's like they really have to rebuild and just push it again. Because
they attacked the Premier League in the right way, I thought, when they went Premier League. They just went out and tried to score goals.
Yeah, but they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
Well, they did, but they didn't stay, did they? For a season,
they didn't stay. I remember their first game of the season not back in the Premier League, but in the Premier League, a 4-0 win at Wigan, I think it was. And
it was great, but it was the only good thing about it. That was literally the only big shout. The rest of them, they were getting like absolutely annihilated.
I think they beat Liverpool at Anfield.
Yeah, but not by much.
Yeah, but it's still beating Liverpool at Anfield.
Yeah, okay, but it's still gone down to like the 1-0s and the 2-0s. Okay, 2-0s a decent result, but 1-0s and everything are just not brilliant at the end of the day for me.
Yeah, so they've had 2 successive relegations.
Yep.
I don't think they'll come back up this season. I think it will take a lot of time for them to come back up now.
No, they'll have to do what Portsmouth are doing, rebuilding the squad properly. They will literally have to stand back, look at the team, speak to every individual player and say, do you actually want to push us back up or do you want to go?
Yeah.
Literally sit them down and say that, each individual player. Because if they do that, that will be done. You'll see who the players are and who they want to be. So it's even better on that one. I think Portsmouth did the right thing. When they went all the way down, okay, they've been in a lot of papers where they've possibly be like, not relegated, liquidised a few times, nearly losing Fratton Park as well. So I was like, okay, but they've always been a fun club to watch.
Yeah,
always.
My dad's a Portsmouth supporter.
Oh, it's a shame you're Southampton.
Yeah. Yeah, he takes me to Southampton games and the banter that Southampton fans have against Portsmouth fans, and he's just like, why do you care?
Yeah.
Why do you all care?
Yeah, it's what you do. Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, yeah, talking about Portsmouth, I said this last summer when they were rebuilding, they made some terrific signings last summer. Gary Roberts came in from Chesterfield, what a signing that was. Ender Stevens from Aston Villa. And I feel the same way this summer. I looked into their transfers that they've made so far. This is just what they've made.
Go for
Curtis Main from Doncaster, striker.
Okay.
He'll do very well at that level. Tom Davies, to be honest, never heard of him, a free transfer. Milan Laukovic is an unbelievable signing from Warsaw. Okay. He's a goal-scoring winger. He's League One quality at least. He could easily play in the Championship as well. Michael Smith, who was on loan from Swindon last season, and he's joining a permanent deal. Okay. Drew Talbot, former Colchester player. Carl Baker signed, I think, from Coventry on a free transfer, former MK Dons player, very good signing. Matthew Clark, he was on loan at the club last season from Ipswich, signed on a permanent deal. And Danny Rose, not the England international Danny Rose, but the Northampton is it defender or midfielder? I'm not too sure, but they have been impressive so far.
One I've just remembered, just as you're saying MK Dons, one decent Premier League club of years ago was Wimbledon. And that was MK Dons. Completely forgot about them.
We could touch on them in a minute. So Portsmouth, we've gone on about them a fair bit already.
Because they have been a big club. Come on,
they're a huge club.
Harry Redknapp won the Premier League,
FA Cup,
won the FA Cup with them, and then got relegated the season after. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, financial issues, obviously. Wasn't
they've been the big club. They have been there. They were in the Premier League when Hull City first went into there.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think if memory serves me right, Dean Windass scored one of the goals at Fratton Park when it was 2-2. So.
Yes, because I think Portsmouth got 2 late goals, didn't they? Or was it Hull that got 2 late goals?
No, it was. I think it was 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I fully expect Portsmouth to come back up. I've
been expecting for years, but the thing is, I've said that about Leeds as well. I've expected Leeds to bounce back up, and they just haven't. Leeds have just consolidated as a good Championship side. Yeah, they can battle against the Premier League sides, but I don't think they have the clout to stay in the Premier League. I think the promoted sides from this season.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Who do you think is going to go up then? You already said Newcastle, Sheffield Wednesday.
Yep.
Who through the playoffs?
Well, I said off camera, Villa maybe, but I don't know. I think in the playoff, if as long as they do well with money wise, in the playoff will be Villa, Norwich, Brighton, Derby. There'll be playoffs. Notts Forest will just miss out again, I think.
Right, I'm just trying to think. Definitely Newcastle.
Newcastle will be up first, and then it'll be Sheffield Wednesday. That's my 1-2.
Yeah, I'm going to go Sheffield Wednesday as well. And I'm really not too sure about the other one.
That's
why I just could win the playoffs.
That's why I just put them 4 in the playoffs, and it'll be any 4 of them will go up.
Fair enough. Very quickly touch on Wimbledon because we're running out of time on the battery of the camera or of the podcast. So Wimbledon, good to see them back in League One. They're on the way back up, and they've got a derby against MK Dons. Well, is it a derby?
Well,
the rivalry.
MK Dons is Wimbledon. Is the original one that went down to come back up as that one. Wimbledon was a club that got
formed by the fans.
Yeah, basically as a fan formed team. It was great. So it's weird to kind of see MK Dons is the Wimbledon of old, But there is now
there is a
Wimbledon,
huge rivalry.
But there's now Wimbledon, so it's like MK on Wimbledon. That is the rivalry now down there.
It's going to be a tasty one.
It will be. It's like when Hull City went to MK, the Stadium MK. It was great.
It's a very nice stadium. It's the Stadium MK.
It's a very nice stadium, and I don't think it's worthy enough to be in the League One position.
No, definitely.
They should have stayed up. But anyway, we'll see how that one transpires later on down the line. But I think.
Again, if you want us to talk about your team, just write in the comments below. As I said earlier on, like the video, subscribe to the channel, because we're going to be doing this every week for foreseeable future. We're going to be bringing out on video soon instead of audio.
I think the first video will either be, if not before...
Be in and around the brand new season starting, so it isn't that far away, about a month.
I was going to say, if not before the first game for Hull City, it'll be the couple of games after, because we will be at the stadium with a camera and a sound crew, and I will be, if people want to, I will interview you all, because I am now a season pass holder at Hull City, so I'll interview anybody that wants to come up. But make sure you put the comments in, or when I tag this on Facebook, just drop me a message and all that stuff, and I'll message you back and we'll arrange time and stuff. I'll meet at half time and explain what's going to happen, but we will discuss that later on. So I'll pass you back over to Phil.
Cheers for listening yet again. We don't know what the next topic's going to be about next week. We'll obviously think about that, and we'll let you know. So thanks for listening. See you later.
See you on the other side.